Good morning, good morning.
How are you doing?
Very
Finally,
well.
I get to meet you. Very, very interesting and very excited. I was having, I was like, am I going to be a boyfriend? Why am I having butterflies in my stomach, Okay, guys, this is Talkative Maskey and this is Talkative Go series. I'm right here in Enugu. Let me not let the cat out of the bag. Let's meet you. Let's get to meet you.
My name is Gozie Udemezue. I am an attorney by profession and I run WEvolution Coaching service. It's a grief coaching business that I've run for 5 years. And I also lead the team of Healing House Widow Support Foundation. And I'm the convener of House of Refuge Worship Service. It's a pleasure to finally get to meet my dear sister, who I've related with over the years. And I'm meeting her this morning. But you know the strange thing, I didn't feel like I was meeting her for the first time. It felt like we had met, and then we met again. So it's good to have you here. Thank you. Welcome to our office.
Oh my God, guys! Like I said before, I'm right here in Enugu, the cold city.
Yes.
I wanted to come meet somebody I've been talking with over the years. We met on Facebook. We've been talking, and we have similar interests, and we've been like friends, for quite some time. But I'm here because I was quite, I don't even know the word to use. Language fails me. I was very intrigued about the things that she was doing for the widows. And being that I have interest, in stuff like that, if you know me, you will know that I decided to come here and see if we could do a collabo. So I'm right here, and before we go into the main thing, I said let me ask her, a couple of questions and know what, inspires her. So guys, just 2 or 3 questions, then we go to talk with the widow. So Gozie, let's deal with the whys. Okay, now what inspires you?
What inspires me is the outcome I've seen over the years, the result that we've been able to achieve, and the fact that it's an assignment from my mother's womb. Because at the age of 8, when I lost my mother, I was relocated from Enugu to live in Ogidi with my father's uncle's wife, the 4th wife of my father's uncle. And because my mother died, my father, of course, wasn't able to take care of me. So living with her gave me access to widows. She was taking care of some old, blind, childless widows. And she used to send me to go and deliver food, retrieve the plates they used to eat, deliver breakfast before boarding the bus to school. So when I started praying then, I told God I didn't want to be a widow. Because I didn't have a good picture of what a widow looked like. So I remember at the point I asked a family friend, what course would someone study in school to be able to help me? And he said law. So that's really my driving force, seeing the change. Knowing that you might meet a widow looking haggard, tired, frustrated, hopeless, and you walk with her one-on-one. And you meet her later on and find out that she's not just out of the woods, that she's also helping another widow. So for me, that's like the widow there. Yeah. The first time I met with her, she was totally out of it. But now, if you meet her, and that's how our widows look. You can't meet them and conclude,
They don't look?
No, they don't look. Yeah. It's the rule. They won't even access it. The ones that will look like it today are the ones coming in here for the first time. You will see the difference.
That's absolutely awesome, absolutely amazing. I have followed you, for quite some time, so I don't have a doubt about what you're saying, honestly. And okay, now let's go, a little bit to the basics. What services, does your program? What services do you particularly, this video is able to access with your organization? Okay, we work under 4 thematic areas. We work under education, under health, advocacy, and lobbying, and legal empowerment. And then we have every other thing, like economic empowerment, we have every other thing under it. Now, when we think about access to justice, we ensure that the widow whose rights are being violated, that she's aware of the law, and so we reproduce and translate the law from the language of the law to simple English, to pidgin English, to Igbo language. We'll give you some of the copies for Anambra State, Enugu State Widow, so that she is even aware that she has the rights. Now, when she needs legal services, we have lawyers who are pro bono lawyers. One of them is a senior advocate of Nigeria, and they provide free legal service
for the widow.
Wow.
If we need this assistance, we have built relationships across the different hierarchy of the list. Now, that's one part of it. Then the economic support, we're able to support their existing businesses. We've been able to, meanwhile, the foundation is 17 years this year, and we've been able to support some to set up businesses. We had some failures, some of them diverted the money, but very minimal percentage.
Yeah.
Now, under education, we support the widows to train their children. Because when a widow is comfortable and the children are out of school, we've done nothing.
Yeah.
So we have children we pay school fees for. A good number of children. I remember last time, one of our donors paid about $1 million plus just in school fees for few children in private schools. So we have different individuals who pick up direct intervention and pay for these children. Then we raise funds and then we call it under general fees and we also pay. So for us, that's important. Then under education also, we run programs to train the widowed on personal development, on self-confidence, because like I tell them, you have to wear your confidence before you dress up. Mm-hmm. Because no matter what you put on, if you're not wearing your confidence, you are naked. So we train them on that, and lately we have designed a program on digital literacy series to train the widow on simple, basic WhatsApp usage, how to have flyers, to design their business flyers. Yeah. 2 days ago, I spoke with someone who is interested. He works in the bank. He wants to come in and train the widows on simple bookkeeping. Those who run businesses, how to record keeping and all of that. So we are looking at having this training to coincide with International Widows Day. So he's going to come in at the event and train them. So we're not just looking at education within the school, for the widow to know, have a certain level of knowledge, exposure. And part of that exposure is the program we run during Valentine's period. To take them out, they contribute their money. We go to the best of hotels. We come to the best of hotels.
Have some fun.
We list out in our red beautiful dresses, and we have fun.
Yeah.
And it's not like we can't cook in our homes, but it's a different environment, and we're able to have fun and all of that.
Wow.
So that's part of what we do. And then under health, for me, that's the most important. We partner with a non-profit in New York, Hope Restoration Medical Mission, and they come in with their nurses and medication. The last time they brought in 20 feet container of medication. Wow. And we had medication here for a long time. And one of their nurses was here early this month. And we have stacks of medication for blood pressure, for diabetes, for simple painkillers and all that. So we run that mission. And for this year, we are planning a 1,000 person event in a community, about 15 minutes from here, Ozara community. Wow. And then we have one of the events here to just provide free services. Then we enroll widows under health insurance. And we pay for some of them who can't afford, so that for the year they can take care of their health. Wow. And we also support widows to pay their hospital bills.
Is this just all in Enugu?
No. We have widows. Out of this Healing Hospital Support Foundation, in 2018, God started speaking to me about streamlining what the vision God gave me was to lead widows to Christ. And this Healing House was meant to be registered as a ministry, not an NGO. But I didn't want to hear anything ministry. I didn't want to hear anything preaching. I didn't want to just be involved in anything, all of that. So I disobeyed and registered it strictly as a non-profit. But we've never really run it as a non-profit. So out of it, in 2015, I launched a campaign, Widowed Not Withered. So that you are widowed, yes, but you can still blossom.
Of course.
And we chose destinations. We launched it in New York, in London. I was to fly to Kenya and Accra. And COVID came, but we launched it here in Enugu, we launched it in Abuja, in Lagos. Okay. And it's a hashtag that widows use now. Okay. Yes, they are widowed, but they are not withered. So it's part of it. And then 2 years ago, I founded Blessed Widows Nigeria, that brings widows together solely to pray.
You're simply awesome. Oh my God, you're doing so much.
So solely to pray on Saturdays, every Saturday. So we have about 8 states now: Kano, Lagos, Abia, Anambra, Rivers, Enugu, where else?
Jesus
so
Christ.
6 a.m. in the morning, Enugu prays. 6:30 in the morning, I think Anambra. 7 a.m. Like that.
Just like a chain.
Yes. So we are praying, and then we shut down at 8 a.m. and then start again at 7 p.m. different states. So for some Saturdays, I go round, especially first Saturdays, I go round. But it's become like a sisterhood. So that when your child is sick, bring it to the platform. And people start praying. And they start supporting. And we have raised widows who are now supporting other widows within the Blessed Widows platform. So that's what we do. We also make sure that they are covered. We partner with NHN in Lagos, who provides clothes. There are times she discharges clothes in her store. She gives me, and then the rest we don't stay. We have people who send in barrels from New York, and we give out those things. So for me, it's an all-encompassing, the whole person. I want a widow to look good. The reason I'm going to
think well,
and to think well,
mental health, emotional health. Oh God, I love this.
I like a situation where a woman appears and nobody can say she's widow. And that's my mantra. If I walk into a place, I don't want you to identify me as one, except I chose to say so. So we also have a spiritual content, which is now aligning with House of Refuge, so that the widows know that prayer is very, very primary and very important.
Wow.
So that's.
But what you say, you're saying now, you yourself, you're widow.
Yes, I've been widowed for 12 years.
12 years. And you said you started this 17 years ago.
Yes, my husband and I.
Okay, your husband
and I. He noticed that we will buy rice in the house and then it finishes. And he wants me, so I have to give this widow. So I'll give out things and without even consulting him. So one day he called me and said, why don't you register a foundation? Because one day you will give out this property and we'll be homeless. So I ignored it until I was in church, a new place we started worshiping. And the one guest preacher I didn't know, we didn't know anybody then. We just went there, my Christian and I, we went to the part of the midweek service and see if we could start worshiping there. And then the man finished preaching and said, oh, women, come and let me pray for you. I normally don't like that kind of thing.
Me too.
So I refused to go out. And my children, my first two children, they practically prayed. I said, let me go. So I stood out there. The man prayed for me and I suddenly stopped and shouted. I said, oh, there's a woman here. The Lord said to tell you that He has placed the burden of widows on your shoulders. And He said to tell you that He will provide, He will do a lot of promises, He will put your name on the world map, He will make you know. In my mind, I said, because I had just resigned from a non-profit. I worked with WACO for 5 years, Women's Aid Collective, and I wanted to rest. And my husband wanted me to become a magistrate, and all of those kind of stuff. So when that man was saying that, in my mind, I said, nah, whoever they identify, I'll drive that person home and tell her to stay away from widows so that they are innocent. So the man kept describing what God will do and what will happen. At the point I said, let's even identify the person now. And then I said, Lupe. And Lupe in my language is. So and this man stopped and said, God, she's doubting you. She's even at the point of mocking you. Manifest your power. In my mind I said, better, let it manifest so that the person will fall. Let me see who. That was the last thing I remember. Like carried me up. I just felt wind, raising me up. Yeah. I was struggling to stand, but I couldn't. And it hit my waist on the altar rail. It's an Anglican church, just across the road. And I bled. I was so ashamed. It was the church people were there. It's a total stranger. Yeah. So I got up, they helped me to sit down. On our way home, my children refused. I was using a Mercedes booth there. And you know how the booth is. The booth is inside. So instead of sitting in the car, they went and stayed in the booth and they laughed me to stop. And then my son said, as soon as they mentioned widows, I knew it was her. Because each time we were going to school, she would take all the money in her bag and give to a widow that fries her car. And then he would tell me, Chukwemeka will manage you. That they knew. So I went into my room, I begged God, I said, I won't do this. Please, just help me. But the rest is history.
It's history.
Here I am.
Yeah,
17 years after, still doing the same thing. And I have no plans. What I've done now is to make sure that my children are involved. So they've become part of the trustees to make sure that
this goes on.
And I have told them that the only thing that will make me angry as a dead person is if they allow this vision to die. So they are involved in it.
Oh my God. I have
they are involved in it. Even my 12-year-old is also part of it. She volunteers. My son at 8 years was volunteering.
Wow, I have good problems. This is awesome. So,
but a lot of people think that I started running this because my husband died. No.
You started before your husband died. So that is just a vision.
It's a vision. And of all the things I've done, this is what has given me global recognition. In 2016, the US Congress read my citation on the floor. That's
for real?
Yes, that's it. Up, very close to my husband.
Come on, can you just let us see that?
Can you go closer?
Can you go closer? Let's see it.
And when I got that invitation to come to New York,
a lot of awards, a lot of accolades,
to come to Washington for it, I thought that was a scam. Until I got to find out until I got to find out the congresswoman from Michigan who nominated me. And also, I have very close relationship with the US consulate, and they fund us, and they are very solid partners. It's out of this. It's out of their training, yes, because they nominated me as an IVLP, International Business Leadership Program, in 2005, and State Department paid all my bills to the US, different cities, chauffeur driving, 4-star hotels, all over the place. So when I returned in 2006, Healing Hearts was birthed from that experience in 2008, registered in 2010. And then in 2017, I got a call again from the US consulate, and they said, "You've done so well. We are sending you back as a gold star." Gold star is like big deal. Yeah. So I went in as a gold star. So everything, the awards, the recognitions, everything, exactly what that man said in church. That's what I'm saying.
No, I know there's God. Yeah, no. I tell people all the time, in as much as I don't actually agree with some of the things, the way Christianity is done here, but there is God.
Yes, God.
I have felt God one-on-one too.
Yes.
So I believe
God.
that there is God. But in all this, there must have been challenges.
Oh, huge. One of the major challenges till date was the death of my husband. Yeah. Because he was like my backbone. It was like that, the wind beneath the wings, When he died, it was, some mockery and some side thoughts. Oh, if she was genuine, her husband would have died. They've been supporting widows, so why would such a thing happen to her and all of that? For 1 year, we didn't operate. Yes, I was in the US. And, giving birth to my child, she had a lot of issues. But we were functioning, supporting medical doctors who came from New York. Our nurses were working, we were disbursing funds to widows for business support. But we decided to just honor him and just pause so that we could recover from all of that. Now, apart from that challenge, because I was riding on his back, he needed to meet traditional rulers because he was highly placed and the traditional title holder. He gave me access to high-ranking people. And apart from that, the challenge of finance then, because people wouldn't believe. And some of them, the good thing is that people who knew me were the people who supported. The new ones were wondering, oh, was she using her money to fly around? People who knew me knew that I've always been a traveler. From more than 30 years ago, I've always traveled with my husband, business class, economy class, any class. So for me, flying to the US or New York
wasn't the thing.
It's not a big deal. So I needed to gain trust, which we have gained now. And just like you contacted me, we didn't lobby you. By yourself, you said, oh, I want to do this. I'm so grateful. Because you might think that those things are small parts of. They are not small. A better guy, if you calculate what they are getting, it's a whole lot. And that's rice. Giving a widow rice. Even myself, if you bring in that rice into my house, I know if I
food is food.
Food is food.
Nigeria.
So now we have people coming in April. We are hosting another food giving event. We've shared food in this house since January, since last year. So there has been improvement. We've had challenge of culture. I've had people who say to my husband, "You are still alive. Why are you allowing your house to talk about women?" All those, but you know me. I don't send anybody. I don't send you.
Let me tell you. Let me take that. Let me just say something. That was the first thing that got me interested. Because me naturally, I don't know. Maybe it was I grew up in the West. I don't send you. And if I don't send you, you can't make me send you.
That's it.
So when I used to follow your stuff on Facebook, I'm like, wow, this is somebody I would like to meet. So I started following and we started talking. Remember I reached out to you, I think that was about 4-5 days ago. Yes. And we started chatting, talking.
2020, after COVID, I needed to change 10,000 USD to be able to do work here. I called him, Miss Val, come and collect this money and change. And the friend who was with me said, why are you giving him more than I said, just so watch and see. It wasn't up to 30 minutes, I received a lot. So I built up, that's how I relate with people. I relate with you as to you, and then we build
up. And that lady,
she's one of my anchors in Lagos. Anything I need her to run in Lagos.
And she knows where to find anything and everything you need.
And so for
I've been using her ever since.
For instance, in Abuja, we have our widows there. Here in Enugu, if I need anything, So that's how we've set up. And it's important to make the widows feel good about themselves. So that what I do is I compliment them. If you don't dress good, I tell you off. After I tell you off, I can decide to dash you a dress. But it's a mother-child relationship that I have with them. And when they call me Mama, that woman that raised me after my mother died was Mama. So they don't even understand how it makes me feel. And so when they come, like the widow that drove me to where I went to this morning, she came from my house, picked me up, took me there. When I came back, I went to my wardrobe. I have a wardrobe for all white. I pulled a dress I'd never worn. And I made, it cost me money. But the voice said, give it to her. I handed it over to her. She danced out. I like to see them like that.
Like that.
Because it gives me joy.
That's it.
I think this is my assignment.
Yeah.
This is my assignment. And it's brought me two of us together.
Yeah.
It's brought me, together with people. And when, I remember my daughter said to me in Lagos last December, Mommy, lay hands on me. I said, for what? He said, in this house, I see what is happening on your phone. Credit alerts. People are saying, oh, happy Christmas. Remember, you were the one that started it.
Yeah.
The day I arrived in Lagos, she said, oh, I'm doing this. I was like, woo. Yeah. And then she was like, oh, what's your opening? Okay, fire. Everybody. At a point, a million points. Christmas. So I took my phone. I said, send me 20,000 to this people. And my daughter said, And she said, Mommy, how do you do this? I see your friends, they're coming from all over the world. They are shopping for you. There's no designer label you don't have. And it's not as if you buy all of them. I said, it's grace.
It's grace.
When God gives you a task, do it with all your heart. He knows how to reward.
You just said it.
He knows how to reward. And the Bible says he's the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And you can seek him through your service.
Yeah, exactly.
You can seek him through your service.
We keep talking, we're going to take you're simply awesome. But just before we go, you had a book, Widowhood Redefined. I've not read it like back to back, but I've been able to, when you did the review and all that. How come? What? I don't want to say what inspired you. What is the story behind this book?
This is like a guide, and I'm writing a workbook out of it. I use it for my trainings, for my coaching for widows. Now, I found out that when a woman in Igbo land loses her husband, she fits into a box that says, "This is how you do widowhood. You don't look good. You don't use review. You don't. You just have to be like. You just have to be. Look forlorn, look tired, look miserable. That's not me. Once I open my eyes in the morning, I'm happy. Even if there are challenges, they're there and so on.
Life is about challenges.
So I redefined widowhood for me. I went on Dubai Runway. I did a fashion show.
I saw it.
I did, and we were about doing Los Angeles and London when COVID came. So I told myself, because you've been able to do this, why don't you write it down how you did it? So that widows can pick it up. It's a simple guide on how widows can arise and shine and become all that God wants them to be. Because before we got married, we had purpose.
We had identity.
Yes. So the death of a husband shouldn't rob us of it. Imagine if I shut down after my husband died. Do you know the number of widows we've been able to make impact on?
At least I know one. At least I know Ify. And she's awesome. She's very she's like a bed of sunshine,
Yes. Yes. So that's why this book was written. At times I have people pay 20 copies, give out free, 10 copies, give out free. I've had widows buy, I've also donated. And so what we do, part of the proceeds go back into supporting widows.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's it.
And simply awesome.
I've also written another book, Chinwogo. But we are out of it. We sold out of it, and I'm discussing.
I want to get a copy. I would like to get a copy of that.
I am discussing with them for a print. I couldn't even get a copy. I wanted to give the print and to see what it looks like. So I'm going to send him an e-copy. Maybe I'll send you an e-copy when it's true.
Oh my God! Because it's been wonderful meeting you, wonderful talking with you. I know some of the videos will have arrived. By the way, guys, we are collaborating with Gozie to she does some feeding outreach. So we are Talkative Video series is collaborating with her to feed some videos. That's why we're here today, and we talk to get the tip of the iceberg, talk to her a little bit, and you guys can see already she's also, if you let her keep going, we are not going to end it today. It's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you so much. We are so happy to host you. I wanted to make this presentation with the widows, but I will not do it here.
Oh God, I want to.
This fabric is what is in vogue. It's very trendy. It doesn't wash. It stays like this. And the woman that sells it is a widow too.
Oh my God.
She's one of our group.
Is she going to be here today?
No. She's traveled to buy fabric. So there's no way you can come in here. One of our core values is giving, generosity.
Yes.
There's no way you will come in here today and we will leave you to go home with nothing.
I'm going to cry.
So we present this to you.
Oh God.
As a way of appreciating
Thank you.
I wish it was more. But for now, this is what
we're able
to do. And we want to thank you for making the sacrifice to make sure. Do you know what it means today? They will go home with noodles, the children will be happy. They will go home with beans. Beans is expensive. They will have that rice in bags, they will have the gari, and then they will have cash.
Exactly.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. Okay, thank you.